Shalom, 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 Yasharallah, giving all honor and glory to Abba Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Amashiach Barakatai. The holler for Yahweh Shai, our Passat, our atonement, our tall Akim from the tribe of Yahweh, from the nation of Yasharallah. The holler for the 12 apostles, the 144,000, the elect men, women, and children of Yasharallah. At the house for our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Yaquab. At the house for the men of David that's in the streets and the highways and the byways, presenting their tabernacles a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto Abba Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Amashai Barakatai. And you have Papa Duck, a Hebrew Israelite, but he don't acknowledge being a Hebrew Israelite. He don't claim to be one, and he don't believe in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, so I was checking out this clip, but he says some interesting things, which most of them do. 230 Yasharala, they say interesting things, and we use them as a prompt to bring out precepts for edification and exaltation to the helpful elect of Yasharala, to the elect, and to how for King David, who will rule well under Yahweh Shah Mashiach. So I'm on the go. I'm going to try to bring out as much as I could on the go. I'm on the go, but your mind got to always be on Abba Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah Mashiach. And I was checking this out last night, and I had wanted to do a lesson on it last night. I didn't watch it all, but I was unable to do a lesson last night, so I want to bring it out today, this morning. And once again, I give all honor and glory unto Abba Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah Mashiach. Let's bring it out, Yahweh. Now, a lot of y'all just watched this on live TV. Trump just had a press conference at the White House, and he announced that if Iran doesn't open the Strait of Hormuz by tonight, 8 o'clock, that's his deadline, that he will hit their power plants and their bridges ASAP. Yo, what's happening, man? It's your boy Papa Duck, man. Y'all just seen what Donald Trump did. He told Iran they got until tonight to decide, and if they, by tomorrow, he just might just obliterate that motherfucker. He talking about burning bombing the bridges and the power plants and all this shit. And get what them people responded. And them folks say if he carry out any of that shit he saying he gonna do, you know what they gonna do? He gonna make America a living hell. Now these are the people y'all voted for. How many people right now can survive without power and water? I'm finna show y'all how serious this shit finna get. When you be watching these apocalypse and shit on TV, when motherfuckers be running around, you gonna have little small groups of people, but they dictatorship. The bigger the group, the more powerful they are. Coming taking other people's resources, running in your house, taking your canned goods. Now, he brought out an interesting point, and that goes into insurrection, and it also go into sedition among men. Okay, and America is coming into a time. Okay, keep in mind with prophecies, there's sequence of events. Now, would this happen on the 8th and today is the 8th? No, of course not. Of course not, because it's not prophecy. No country gonna be obliterated off the face of the earth but USA and Israeli. Right? The Most High talk about the least of the flock, which is the Amalekites, Amalek, right? The small hats gonna draw America out, which is the bodyguard unto Israeli. Okay. So we know by prophecy that Medio-Persia, Iran, it's not going to be obliterated on today or tonight, because that's not prophecy. Now, he make an interesting point with America having sedition among men, invading one another in different groups. Some groups going to be small. Some groups is going to be large. He say the bigger the group, the more power they will have. Now, that's going to take place in America, because what all is happening is going to create famine and pestilence. Okay, Yahweh Shai talk about wars and rumors of wars. Let's bring that out right quick. So Yahweh Shai, a Mashiach, our great Redeemer, our great Deliverer in Yasharallah, who the world ignorantly or intentionally called Jesus the Christ, who's a so-called black man, because nobody's black, right? Who's a Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Yahweh and from the nation of Yasharallah. Yahweh Shai is a Hebrew Israelite who they call Jesus the Christ, right? So now let's go. So keep in mind, Israel, you know what the scriptures say, you know what Yahweh Shai say. Keep in mind there are sequences of events when you're dealing with prophecy. Okay? So when they say, oh, they're going to blow it up and obliviate on the 8th, well, we know the Bible don't say that. That's what they saying. That's what Esau and DJ Trump saying, but Yahweh Shai not saying that. See, Yahweh Shai control the thoughts of men. Okay? Now, the Most High said, let's put a little meat on it. Let's put a little meat. Let's start at verse 3, Matthew 24:3. I'm reading out of KJV 1611 edition. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him. The him is Yahweh Shai Mashiach, privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign, sign of thy coming? The coming of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, the return of Yahweh Shai of Mashiach. Now I'm going to highlight, yes, World War III already started, is already in effect. Jacob's trouble is already in effect. But keep in mind, it's going to what? It's going to intensify. Okay? These prophecies is going to speak louder and louder and louder. It's going to get real loud. Okay? But the movie is in full effect. When you go to the theaters, there's a time where the lights are on. There's a time where they play advertisement of the movies that's going to be coming out in the near future. Okay? For you to go get your popcorn, get your hot dog, commissary, whatever you want to consume or eat to enjoy this show. We didn't pass that point. The movie didn't start, the lights out, you didn't got your popcorn, you got your Slurpee. The movie didn't start. Okay? 2020, it started already. Okay? So let's keep everything in context, right? And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end, because the end of an eon, the end of an age. See, the end of the world. The end of the world don't mean the whole earth blowing the hell up, Israel, and to pieces and dust. The end of the world is going to the so-called white man, the banker family, Amalek, Esau, and these heathens rulership in the earth. And 2/3 of the Israelites have shared and have valued Esau, Edom power structure here in the daughter of Babylon. What would be they end as well, because they're going to catch fire when these nukes get let go. So the end of the world is talking about the end of an age, the end of an eon, the end of a dynasty, the end of a rulership, right? See how they playing with things? The end of this man's dominion and authority in heaven. So that's the end. The disciples were asking Yahushua when these Romans rulership would come to an end, a full end. And Yahushua answered, so he responded to the disciples and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. And that's the first thing, because Esau is the deceiver. He's the ablos, he's the ablas in the Greek, devil. So Yahushua is saying to be sure, but not just the Edomites, starting with Edom, but also any other man that don't come, thus said Abba Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. For many shall come, and there you go. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am a Mashiach, and shall deceive many. So you have a lot of men that come in the works. You have a lot of Israelite camps that go out in the highways and the byways, but all of them is not coming in sincerity and in truth. Though they come in the name, which is the works, you a Hebrew Israelite. They teach our people, yeah, you Hebrew Israelite. They teach our people the laws, so they have to keep the laws. You have many that's coming in that name, and that works, and the attributes of that. But they're not coming all the way out with this truth. They're not coming in sincerity in the truth. There's things they're not coming out with. When I say things, I mean prophecies. They're not coming out with the true name of the Heavenly Father and the true name of the only begotten Son, Yahweh Shah Mashiach. And then on the other hand, you have some that come in the name of Yahweh Shai, and they teach Yahweh Shai, but they being deceptive or deceitful with the scriptures. So Yahweh Shai is warning of all these things at the end of this age that you're going to be a witness to. And he warned you of not seeking after these men. Right? So let's keep everything in context. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am a Mashiach, and shall deceive many. Remember, the Yahweh Shai talk about a wide gate, and many shall be thereat. But the narrow gate is what few shall be there, right? So let's keep everything in context once again, right? Keep everything in context. All right. And ye shall hear, and this is what we dealing with. We hearing the war with Iran, the war with America, the war with Israeli, the war with Palestine, Saudi Arabia, right? China and Taiwan, Ukraine and Russia. This is what you're hearing. Trump saying he's going to blow them up on April the 8th of 2026. You hearing of these things. But keep in mind, we dealing with sequences of events. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. And these are the rumors. See, these are rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. Okay? For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So the Most High, everything going to be done on Abba Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai Barakatah's time. Everything will be done according to prophecy. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine. And this is why I come here to Matthew 24. Because now with these wars and these rumors of wars, this is what it's going to introduce. It's going to introduce famine because you're dealing with a dollar that's no good. And these other nations, through these wars, because there's different types of wars, there's economic wars, which is economic wars, destruction. The missiles being let go, that's just the final trump that's going to bring Yahweh Shai to crack the sky. We have more in the movie to go, but we at the end of the movie. We're approaching the end because we're approaching famines. Well, that's going to create the sedition, the group that Papa Duck highlighted, small groups and big groups, apocalyptic times here in Babylon. So these wars and rumors of wars is going to introduce this famine, pestilence, and these earthquakes in diverse places. That's why Yahweh say all these are the beginning of sorrows. So we in the movie where we in the beginning of sorrows. We right around the corner from pestilence and famines, like you have never seen before. Cannibalism, sedition among men, one invading another homes, roadblock, martial law, 3 o'clock, roadblock. Okay? That's why they setting up ISIS in these airports. Because one will tell you, how could you not afford TSA, but you can afford ISIS? So it's not making sense. So they are preparing for something larger, something more sinister. Okay, a dictatorship, a digital currency, a digital CHIP of India, Revelation 13 and 16. So these rumors of wars is an introduction to Jacob's trouble, Jeremiah 30 and 7. You have to understand it's sequences of events to bring the end of this world, the end of this eon, the end of Esau world, his rulership, his heaven, his dominion. As it says in 2 Ezra 6 and 8, for Esau is the end of an age, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. Right? So let's keep everything in context. Right? Let's keep everything in context. Okay? Now, for all these are the beginning of sorrows, then shall they deliver you up. This got to happen. The delivering up of the Israelites, the delivering up of the men of David, the Yaiquat, right? This has a sequences of events to be what afflicted and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. We have to get through all this before the final trump, before anybody is obliviated. Okay? All right? Just keep everything spiritual, scripture, precept upon precept upon precept upon precept. And then shall many be offended and shall betray one another. We have to go through this process. We have to enter into this first. But the rumors of wars is introducing this. So what's going on with Iran? Well, this is the introduction, so to speak. Okay? And then shall many be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise. That's what you're seeing on social media. You're seeing a lot of false prophets. You have the men of David, but then you also have the false prophets. You have the men of David on the streets doing the will of Abba Yahweh Ba'ashem El Shai, pastors of his heart, Jeremiah 3:15. But then you got the false prophets to counteract. You got the Israelite camps that have been bought and paid for. You got these 501c pastors in these church houses bought and paid for. False prophets, false pastors, working for Satan, Natasha time. So it's another thing, beware who you seek unto. Okay? It got to be thus said Abba Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Barakatah. And many false prophets shall rise. See, they rising up. They're rising. Because we at the end of Esau age, the end of an eon, the end of a world, the end of a kingdom. This is the end of Rome 2.0, the end of Egypt, the end of Nineveh, the end of Assyria, the end of Samaria, the end of Mount Seir, the end of Basra, the end of the daughter of the Chaldees, the end of Greece, the end of Sodom and Gomorrah, the end of USA. So we at the end of this mystery Babylon. Okay? And because iniquity means sin upon sin upon sin upon sin, and this is where we at. We in this too. That's why you say, oh, my family members don't care about me. My family members don't call me. My family members don't love me. My friends don't check on me. These were all people you knew in the world when you was in the world. But being in this truth, the Most High have separated the sheeps from the goats. So the Most High is also bringing a separatism. Family don't have that love no more. Friends don't have that love no more. People that you don't know don't have that love no more. So the morale in this place, the Most High have mingled a perverse spirit. Tell you that in Isaiah 19:14, I believe. He will mingle a perverse spirit in Egypt, which is America. So the Most High have mingled this perverse spirit here. We in these times. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. That's why people don't have love. And love ultimately is talking about the law, statutes, commandments, and judgments and testimony. Yahweh shall say, if you love me, you will what? You're going to keep my commandments. 1 John 5:3 tell you what love is. So you have to understand what love the scriptures is talking about. Not hugs, not kisses, not a pat, a pat on the back, not giving you a box of chocolates. Love is keeping the commandments of Abba Yahweh Ba'ashem El Shai, and this world's not operating in that love. So the morale here is gone. Okay, so we hear in that sequences of events. But he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved. And the save is what? Going into your deliverance in the chariots of Abba Yahweh Ba'ashem El Shai. If you endure this marathon to the end, then you would be beamed up in the clouds, in the chariots of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai, from what? From the hand of your enemies. Luke 168, 69, and 70 going to that. Now, this is the end for the Edomites and these heathens and 2/3 of you Israelites. And this gospel, meaning this truth, because the gospel is the good news, the good tidings for the Israelites. Isaiah 61. So when you deal with the gospel is for the elect of the Hebrew Israelites that's going to receive this good news acknowledge the good news, accept the good news, worship the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Abba Yahweh, and his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, and rehearse the righteous acts, as it say in the book of Judges 5 and 11, in the place of drawing water. This is the place of drawing water, which is the water is Yahweh Shai Mashiach. That's how you're going to be saved. That's how you're going to be beamed up out of here and get that glorified body with the laws in your inward parts, right? Hebrews 8 and 8 and 9. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached. And it's being preached through the internet, through the unicorn. You don't have to get on no airplane and go to this country, that country. That's not what the Most High commanded. You have IUIC, they get on these planes, they got their own planes that Esau have given them, and they think that's what the Most High talking about. The gospel gonna go through the internet, through the unicorn, meaning the truth. The Israelites that have been scattered in the four corners of the earth, the remnant of Yahshua, gonna get this truth. The elect gonna get it. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world. You see, that's everywhere. For a witness, this is what it's for, a witness unto all nations. Not just waking up the Israelites, but waking up these heathens to who they are and who's the true power in the heavens and the earth and the universe. Abba Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And letting them know their judgment as well. So everybody's waking up. One is waking up to everlasting life, and one is to shame and damnation. Okay? You got to understand what's going on in these prophecies. It's all sequences of events. For a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Then that would be the end of Esau world. Okay? The end of the Gentiles, the natural Gentiles, the heathens. But Papa Duck make a point about the sedition among men and the invading one another, right? For the sword, that's why the Most High, let's start at 14. Woe mean destruction to the world and them that dwell therein, right? For the sword meaning destruction, and their destruction draw it nigh. Okay, so through these rumors of wars, it's going to introduce this. When I read Matthew 24, where Yahweh told the disciples, this is the introduction to let you know where you're at. That's why the scriptures say, measure out the time diligently in itself, right? That's in the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9 and 1, I believe. You got to measure out the time that you're in, knowing that it's high time, as Apostle Paul is saying in Romans 13 and 11, knowing that it's high time to awake out of sleep, because your salvation is what nearer than what you believe, roughly paraphrasing. So you have to know as a Hebrew Israelite what time that we are in. You're supposed to be knowing the time that you're in. So when you see all these signs, you know where you at in the time and what you should be doing in this time. For the sword and the destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight. This going to sedition, right? Uproars of the people, civil wars, moral wars, class wars, race wars, religious wars. See, this coming into famine, pestilence. This is all going into this, Israel. And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords mean weapons in their hand. And that's what Papa Duck was alluding to. It's all scriptures, all biblical. For there shall be sedition. You see that word sedition among men and invading one another. You see, going into your house, your apartment, kicking in doors, raping you, ravishing you, taking your food, taking you out, whatever the case may be. You see, these are times that's going to happen on this earth during Jacob's trouble. These are the times. Remember, sequences of events. Rumors of wars introducing this. What you see going on is going to introduce all this upon USA, the great city, this whore, this woman. This is what's coming. You can't stop it. Is why you can't stop it. Because as prophecy, the Most High say he can't lie. He said all his counsel shall stand. The Most High say he will do all his pleasures. Okay? He will bring wrath and judgment upon the sinful kingdom. And if you're a Hebrew Israelite in the truth, you want this to fulfill itself. So that's going to be your delivery up out this thing. That's your salvation. This is going to bring your salvation. For there should be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings, meaning their governments, their rulers on the earth. This is the uprising, the uproar of the people. After they found out they've been bamboozled, they've been hoodwinked, they've been lied to, these Edomites not going to go for that. It's a divided house. Satan against Satan, right? Ain't that in the book of Luke? You have Luke, I believe, 326, 324, 327, somewhere in that area. You have Satan rising against Satan. You have a divided house. You have divided kingdoms. They going against each other. America with her hegemony, being that bully all this time. Now they weak, the other nations. Isaiah tell you that in Isaiah 14. Thou art weak as we. They see blood in the water. They not afraid no more. The Most High saying, Joel, let the weak say I'm strong. Okay, so now they strong. They not weak no more against Babylon. For these shall be, Salaki, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. This is prophecy. This what these wars is introducing through these draconian laws and measures that Trump is putting in place. We see it with TSA. And it's going to intensify. Everything is just going to intensify to the climax. Okay. All right. So that's what's going on. That's one. For one moment, Yasharala. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. You see the pride of Esau Edom. Their pride. That's why the Most High said pride go before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. That's in the book of Proverbs, I believe. Right? 3:16, somewhere around there. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, with weapons, and spoil their goods, you see, because of the lack of bread. This is what these rumors of wars are bringing. The high gas prices, the high diesel prices, super inflation. Everybody, these nations dropping these dollars and they going digital. A lot of them going to the yuan. So the dollar, if nobody using it but Americans in America, it's no good. So that's gonna cause a lack of food in your household, a lack of bread, and for great tribulation. So keep in mind is sequences of events.
Other people resources running in your house, taking your canned goods, your guns, and everything. It's just gonna be a dog eat dog's world. How many people really survive like that? You know what I'm saying? Most men, them motherfuckers don't even get their nails dirty or break a nail. This is no disrespect. I'm just finna show y'all just how fucked up this shit can be. I told you I grew up in Belgrade where we hunt, we fished every single weekend and throughout the week. How many people is ready to go through some shit if a war was to strike out right now today? How many people is mentally ready? How many people could survive under them conditions? You know how many people they say gonna perish in the first, I want to say the first 3 months. You're talking millions of people. If we ever had a power grid go down, and don't fucking think they won't do it. I told y'all, man, people think America gonna be safe. All because these motherfuckers want to run and control everything. That's what you got to think about.
Because of their pride, the city should be destroyed. You see, because of their pride, the city should be destroyed. We just read that.
Bro. You think God put us here to be warm with each other? And this is the shit I try to get people to realize, dog. Simple common sense. What?
So the Most High is a man of war. So he don't know the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The Most High, Abi Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Masha Barakatah, is a man of war. That's his name. The Elohim is a man of war. The Elohim is his name. Okay? Pharaoh's chariots and his host he cast into the sea. So the Most High is about that life. They don't know the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The Most High is about that life. And he created the so-called white race, Esau, Edom, to be his sword, to bring judgment on the earth. So what you have to understand that Esau, these Edomites bring havoc on the planet. They bring judgment on the earth. That's why they was created to be the wicked. Okay? They are the bloody men. Psalm 55:23, I believe. They should not live half out their days. So the Most High not dealing with everybody. The Most High is dealing with the Hebrew Israelites. So for our disobedience, serving other gods, and idolatry and fornication, spiritual fornication, spiritual adultery, went after other lovers. We left Abba Yahweh, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, our power, our God, and served other gods of Merodach, of Baal, Moab, these other nations' gods. So the Most High bring judgment. Okay? He brought Israel to a lower state. But the Most High drowned the Pharaohs, the Hamites, the Cushites for the Israelites. So he's about war. Pharaoh's chariot and his host he cast into the sea. His chosen captains also are drowned in the Red Sea. Okay? So, yes, he's about that life. You got to understand that the Most High divided us. He separated the sons of Adam, right? You have to know, you got to understand prophecy, you got to understand scriptures. You got to understand precept, but to understand, you got to fear the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Psalms 111 and 10. That's the beginning of wisdom. That's how you get a good understanding of the text. Okay, right? That's what's going on. The Most High say in the book of Deuteronomy 32 and 8, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam. So he's not the God of everybody. Because he wouldn't separate the sons of Adam. And when you separate something, it brings a division. Okay? It brings division. You dividing. You making a difference. Okay? For one people and against the others. So the Most High have chosen Yasharallah, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans with Indian, Taino, Negro descent by the seed of your father, Numbers 1 and 18. And where we've been scattered in the four corners and the four winds of the earth amongst every nation. The dispersed, the diaspora, right? The scattering. That's where they go into the scattering. Looking like the other nations, some of the other nations. You see? So that create division. The Most High says he's about war. He's a man of war. That's his name. When the Most High divided the nations, their inheritance. Every nation got their own inheritance. When he separated, that would make the Most High racist. He only loved his people. The word race comes from the word Reza. He only loved his own. He's sufficient in loving his own people, his people. Okay? He set the bounds of the people. There's 18 nations that's created, but he only chose one nation unto himself. That never changed. It will never change. He only a God unto these people. These other nations are created for servants and handmaids. Esau, the so-called white man, he had a different lot. He's created to be the wicked, the border of wickedness, to bring the destruction upon the planet. That's what this man is for. He's the adversary. He was created to be against Abba Yahweh and Yahweh Shai and Yasharallah. He's an evil adversary unto Israel, Yasharallah. He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Yasharallah, you see. So it's all about Yasharallah. It's all about Yaquab, Jacob. For the Lord's portion, for the Elohim's portion, is his people, Jacob, Yasharallah, is the lot of his what? His inheritance. So the Israelites is his light, his lot. Salakia, Yasharallah, his lot. Okay? And that's what's going on. And this movie is about Jacob and Esau and the return of our great Redeemer, our great Deliverer, Yahweh Shah Mashiach. It's birth pain going on. The birth going to give birth to Yahweh Shai. All right? This Yasharallah going to give birth. A delicate woman, right? A tender and delicate woman. Israel, right? That's in Jeremiah, I believe, chapter 3, 6, somewhere around there. Let's continue.
Warm with each other. And this is the shit I try to get people to realize, dog. Simple common sense. What God would be okay with us shooting and stealing and killing from each other? What God would be okay from one country to go to another country and take it over? And those people living poor as fuck, but they living on some of the richest, resourceful lands in the world. What God would do that? This shit makes no sense to me, and these be the people y'all vote for. Oh, I say, because you can't get me with that bullshit. It don't make sense. And I'm telling you, bro, if anything come this way, but we up shit creek. Shit creek. Most people, every time they get a little cough, a little cold, they want to run to Walgreens. Ain't gonna be no motherfucking Walgreens. You're talking about adapt, but you have to adapt. I'm talking about quick. We're not ready for it, man. Why? Because the people who got all this shit going on, they didn't teach us, prepared us. The world we live in, this is their world.
See, this is Esau's world. We are the servants in his world. The Israelites are the servants in Esau's world. This is his world. This is his age, his eon, but this is the end of it. So they got this world. They took it over in violence. It's going to go out in violence. They took America with violence. They slaughtered the 10 tribes, the natives in North and South America, in the islands of Hispaniola, Arcerit, this fourth hemisphere, the New World. They took it by violence. Cristobal Colon never put down this war one time, he said. So they took it by force, by violence. So it's going to go out by violence. Right? The Most High say in Mark, what? Galatians 6 and 7, be not deceived, for Abba Yahweh is not marked. For whatever a man soweth, all nation is going to reap. You know the saying, you reap what you sow. Not just a man, it can be just a man individually. As it say in the book of Job, all nation. The Most High can judge a man only, all nation. So they have to reap what they have sown in the earth. So this nation of people have to pay. It's scripture, it's biblical, it's law. And this is what you are witness to. Once again, sequences of events. And that's why the Most High tells us in Sirach 12 and 10, never trust thy enemy. See? And our people have trusted in man. They didn't trust in the God of Abraham and Jacob. So now you curse. Okay? You curse, right? Because you've been trusting in man all this time. The Most High say in Jeremiah 17 and 5, thus said the Elohim, Abba Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, curse. And the word curse means voted and fitted to destruction. Be the man that trusted in man. See, our people, 2/3 of the Hebrew Israelite is trusting in Zohan, trusting in Rome, Greece, trusting in Esau Edom, and this government, and this voting system, and this political scam. Trusting in man, trusting in Massa, trusting in their God, their Father, trusting in the power of USA. Now you curse as a Hebrew Israelite. Thus said the Elohim, cursed be the man that trusted in man and make it flesh his arm. Meaning you made them your power. And whose heart, see your heart, which in the Hebrew is la'ab or la'ab, your mind and soul have departed from the Elohim. People don't believe in that. He's a perfect example of that. People, he's speaking on the side of his neck. He's talking on the side of his neck because he's saying one thing, but he do another. So he do trust in man. You got to trust in somebody, and you got to serve somebody. Either you serving the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, or you serving Esau Edom, who's the God. He's the God of this world, the Prince of Darkness. You got to serve somebody. Can't have it your way. Okay? And our people trust in this system, this beast system, whose heart departed from the Elohim. See? So our people, as in 2/3 of you Israelites are in great danger. Y'all in trouble. And you ain't going to make it because of these reasons that I'm bringing out through the precept. That's why Isaiah, Hebrew Israelite, prophet Isaiah, our Akim, woe mean destruction to the rebellious children. The rebellious children is talking about you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans with entertaining Negro descent, and we've been scattered in the four corners of the earth. That's the rebellious children, are you Israelites. Said the Elham, that take counsel. Y'all take counsel. The Most High never say y'all didn't take counsel. He said y'all take counsel, but it's not of him, not of me. Y'all take counsel and voting in the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. Voting for this mayor, this governor, this president. Trusting in his school system, his colleges, his universities, and his degrees. Made man your arm, your power. See? So you take counsel, but it's of them. It's not of the prophets, not of the men of his heart. The Most High say he will send you pastors of his heart. That's why we do these lessons and videos. Where you at? Where y'all at? Where are the questions? Where the inquired mind? Where's the comments? Where's the likes? And if y'all doing it, Barakatah upon you. Because Esau just not letting me get it. Okay, but that's another lesson. But our people have not trusted in the God of Yahweh and his only begotten son Yahweh Shai. But not of me. And that cover with a covering. See our people covering with religion, with Esau ideology, with his education system, joining these fraternities and sororities. That's a covering spirit. Religion, Christianity, Baptist, Seventh-day Adventist, Jehovah Witness, Islam. These are coverings. This is your belief system. So as a covering, as a protection that you have put upon yourself. But it ain't going to save you from the destruction of World War III. But not of my spirit, you see? So you have a spirit, which is a covering, but it's not the spirit of Abba Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Barakatah. It's not his spirit. It's not his truth. It's not the law, statutes, commandments, and judgments and testimonies. You never came back to your culture, your custom. You never came back to your power. You worshiping, you're practicing everything else, but what the Most High instructed us to do, to keep. You're trusting in a system that's on her way out, a debt system, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, you see? And the wages of sin is debt. Tell you that in Romans. So it's a debt system that walk to go down into America, which is Egypt is America. Egypt is a synonymous for house of bondage. When you read the book of Exodus 20 and 2, and have not asked at my mouth. Where's the questions? You're not asking the men of David questions. You're not going to these camps asking how to be saved, or what to do, how to serve your God, your power, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Our people not doing that. They're not doing it because they trust in the system of USA. They trust in Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves. See, that's how you strengthen yourself. And the strength of Pharaoh. The new Pharaoh would be Esau Edom. Tell you that in Romans 9 and 17, I believe. And to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Our people is trusting in this system. So therefore shall the strength of America, USA, Pharaoh, Esau Edom be your shame, like he was alluding to. And the trust in the shadow of America, your confusion. See? And I gotta go. I would like to go another 20, 30 minutes. But giving all honor and glory to Abba Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah, Mashapatai, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom.
The world we live in, this is their world. We drive cars, go to work and punch clocks and go to these fucked up schools and everything because of them. And when we put in a situation like this, just God forbid some shit like this happen, we ain't prepared. You're not ready.